In this video, I will walk you through the exact way I've been using FlightCoach to analyze and score my F3A flights. We will go through the full process, from downloading the flight logs and segmenting the maneuvers in the plotter, to exporting the data and scoring the flight in FlightCoach Score. I will take it step by step so you can follow along without missing anything, and if you ever have any questions, you can always come back to this video and follow the process again. In this case, I will be working on a Windows machine, simply because it's the most common setup. That said, the logic and the steps are essentially the same on other platforms, since most of the process is handled through browser-based apps. So, let's get started. Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. Everything starts, of course, with recording a flight. To use FlightCoach, you need a system installed in the airplane that records the flight data. There are several options available on the market, and it's also possible to build or configure your own solution. All supported systems, instructions, and tutorials are documented on the FlightCoach website and in the FlightCoach Facebook group. In my case, I will be using the Sky Tracker from Rombaut RC, but the logic is the same regardless of which compatible logger you are using. The main difference is simply how and where the data is stored. With the Sky Tracker, flight data is saved on an SD card. For every flight, the system automatically records the flight and creates a new log file, a bin file, which contains all the information for that specific flight, from the takeoff to the landing. So, for the first practical step after flying is very simple. We remove the SD card from the logger. It has a little spring, so here we have the SD card. Next, we need to connect the SD card to whatever device we are using, a computer, a tablet, or even a phone. Some laptops already have a built-in SD card reader, so you can just insert it directly. Other devices might require a small adapter, for example, an SD to USB adapter. There are many inexpensive options available. You just need to find what works with your device. Once the SD card is connected and recognized by the system, we are ready to move on. So now, let's jump into the computer and I will show you exactly what this looks like once the card is connected. Okay, so the next step is to go to the FlightCoach website and open the plotter to start the segmentation of our maneuvers. To see our flight, we first need to upload a bin file. As you will notice, when we open the plotter, there is nothing loaded yet. It's simply waiting for a flight to be uploaded. On the right-hand side, we already see several controls. Different viewing options such as the judge or the top view, and there's also a very important button in red. This is the one we will use to upload our file. When we click Load Bin File, the File Explorer opens automatically and asks us to select the log file we want to work with. In this case, we need to locate our SD card among the available drives. On Windows, it usually appears on the left-hand side and often shows the name of the SD card brand, in our case, Lenovo 32G. Here you can see the folder structure and where the bin files are stored. Once we select the flight we want to analyze, we click Open. At this point, the system will ask us to choose the schedule and the flying site for this bin file. For the schedule, we can browse through different disciplines and select the correct one according to the sporting code. In this example, we are selecting the F3A P27. As you can see, the site has been selected automatically. FlightCoach can recognize previously stored F3A sites or windows, and if the coordinates match, it will automatically assign the correct site. If you are flying at a new location or your club isn't listed yet, that's not a problem. You can simply enter or paste your pilot and center position coordinates, and FlightCoach will automatically generate the correct window with the proper distance and orientation. In this case, the club in Florence, Arizona is already saved, which is why it's selected automatically. Once everything is set, we press Submit. Once loaded, we can see the complete flight, from takeoff to landing. As you may remember from the previous video, the next step is segmentation, which is separating the maneuvers one by one. But before we start, let me quickly explain the tools we will be using. On the right side, we can switch between different views. Personally, I find the judge view the easiest to work with. But you can use whichever view you prefer. You can also click and drag the plotter to adjust the view manually. At the bottom of the screen, you will see the list of maneuvers for the selected schedule. In this case, a P-27 has the takeoff, the Humpty bump, the trombone, the triangle, and so on. You will also notice that each maneuver already has a predefined duration. This is only a reference. Since everyone flies slightly different, it's very unlikely that this default timing will perfectly match with your actual flight, which is exactly why we need to segment the maneuvers manually. On the bottom left, we have the segmentation tools. The blue arrows allow us to move from one maneuver to the next one, but we can also select the maneuver directly by clicking its name in the list. With the plus and minus buttons, we can extend or shorten the duration of the selected maneuver. With the red button, we can see the model flying through the selected maneuver, including its attitude. The remaining buttons allow us to control the playback, moving the model position, stepping through the maneuver frame by frame. For each maneuver, what we want to do is clearly define three parts: the entry line, the maneuver itself, and the exit line. This allows FlyCoach Score to correctly recognize and evaluate each maneuver. We will repeat this process for each maneuver until the entire flight is properly segmented. Once the segmentation is finished, we save it. On the right side of the plotter, we click the yellow button labeled as Save JSON. This file will be saved in your configured downloads folder, which is usually the default downloads folder. It's important to remember where it's stored because we will need it in the next step. This JSON file contains the maneuver segmentation, and as you might remember, the FlyCoach Score requires two files: the bin files with the full flight and the JSON file with the segmentation. So now we move to the FlyCoach Score platform itself. If you are not registered yet, I highly recommend signing up. There's no spam or no unwanted emails, but having an account allows you to see news, leaderboards, upload flights to the database, track your progress, and participate in both online and in-person competition. The sign-up process is very quickly. Once you are registered, you log in and arrive at the main screen, where you can see recent news and recently uploaded flights. On the top left, the second icon, the airplane, is where we upload our flight. We click it and the system guides us step by step. First, we select the ArduPilot bin file. Clicking Choose File opens the File Explorer, where we select the bin file from the same location we used for the plotter, and then we click Open. Next, we select the FlyCoach JSON file, again using Choose File, navigating to the Downloads folder and selecting the correct JSON file associated with that flight. Once both files are loaded, a Next button appears. We click it and the system loads our full program and schedule. At this stage, we can quickly verify that the segmentation looks correct. By clicking Complete on the landing maneuver, we can move to the final and most interesting step of the process. This is where we see all the maneuvers, their scores, and any downgrade. You can analyze them one by one, or, as I usually do, I simply click Run All, cross the fingers, and then see the results. Depending on the server load, this might take a few seconds, but it's usually very fast. Every time a maneuver is already scored, you can click on it and analyze all the downgrades. But for that, we are gonna have a specific video. Once the process is all complete, you can choose to share the flight to the database. You can add comments such as wind conditions, the model you flew, or any other notes that help you remember the flight. When you are done, click Upload and the flight will appear on the leaderboards. There are several filtering options available, so I recommend you to play with it in order to, for example, see your own flights only, see the best of each pilot, or even filter it by maneuver so you can see, for example, who did the best score on the M maneuver. And that's basically it. You can now repeat the process, segment another flight in the plotter, save the JSON file, upload both files to the FlyCoach Score, and run the analysis again. So we will post more videos with this process. We are gonna do it with a tablet. We are gonna do it in different ways. We are gonna analyze also the results of it. But I hope that this video helped to guide you through the process from the beginning till the end. And now you join us uploading your flights for the new F3A. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.